Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming to the Li Ka-shing Faculty of Medicine. My name is Dr. Joshua Ho, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you two of our courses. So I will first begin with this particular degree program called Bachelor of Science and Bioinformatics. Then I'll pass on to my other colleagues who will tell you about other things as well. So I'll begin first. I can still see that some students are coming in. That's okay. When you come in, just take your seat. So the first program we're going to introduce is the Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics. If you find this word strange and new, it's okay. 20 years ago, I was a high school student finishing my high school, and I come across exactly this word called bioinformatics, 生物信息學. And it's a very weird word because this is something that I have not seen in high school. In high school, we do chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics, even information technology, but have never come across this strange word that seems to combine biology with something called informatics, which itself means computer science and statistics and mathematics. But I was so excited. I found this word. I find it fascinating. And I actually went to Australia to do this degree. And I'm very, very happy that I came back to Hong Kong 4 years ago. And with my colleague here, we are starting this new undergraduate program in Hong Kong, in the University of Hong Kong. So what I'm going to do next is to go through in the next slide. You can start play the video. So there will be a video that tells you a little bit about bioinformatics and then I'll come back to tell you more. Okay? Can we play the video, please?
This video will give you an overview of the Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics program offered by HKUMed. Our Bioinformatics program provides students with essential statistical data analysis skills, key algorithms for biomedical informatics, and fundamental concepts in modern genomic and health technology. We nurture the next generation of biomedical data science professionals who are well equipped to work in innovative areas of growth such as precision medicine, digital and mobile health technology, big data analysis of electronic health data, and global health analytics. As a 4-year full-time program, it provides students with essential training for future leaders in modern digital healthcare innovation. Students learn through a variety of pedagogical methods, ranging from traditional lectures, data science laboratory practicals, problem-based learning tutorials, web-based learning, as well as research projects. Students are required to complete 240 credits across the 4 years, of which 96 credits are major courses, 36 credits are common core courses, and 18 credits are language enhancement courses. The remaining 90 credits are for minors and electives. During the first 2 years of study, students will take foundation courses that integrate knowledge across disciplines, including biomedical sciences, mathematics, statistics, and computing. We provide students with ample opportunities to gain work experience in the industry, as well as local and international laboratories relating to bioinformatics and health data science. Internships can be taken in a credit-bearing course during the semester or as a non-credit-bearing experience during the summer break. The focus of the final year of study is an in-depth, year-long research project in a specialized field of bioinformatics under the guidance of a supervisor. If students wish, they can elect to take one or more minors on top of their major in bioinformatics. Minor options include digital health and biomedical data science. To accommodate individual interests, selection of any minor offered by other faculties such as computer science or science entrepreneurship is also possible. BSc Bioinformatics graduates will be equipped with practical and transferable skills applicable to a rapidly maturing interdisciplinary field that is of high demand in research institutions, hospitals, and the pharmaceutical industry, both locally and internationally. Check out our website or contact our staff to know more about the Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics at HKUMed.
Okay, thank you very much. So you've seen this video. I'm sure you're here because you're somewhat interested in the courses and programs offered by the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Hong Kong. And you might have seen in news recently, our university has been ranked at a historic high of place 13th in the world in the area of clinical and health, which is highest in our history of our faculty. And it's first in Hong Kong, second in Asia, and there's only 12 other medical schools that have a ranking higher than us. So this is, I think, a true testament about the quality of the education that we offer to our students at the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Hong Kong. So the program that I'm going to talk about is bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is the development and application of computational and statistical methods to analyze a variety of biomedical big data to tackle important biological and healthcare problems. What I often tell students is that when you think about medicine, medicine is a data-intensive discipline. Medicine is a data-intensive discipline. So in the past, when the amount of data that doctors collect are relatively small through just asking about symptoms and do very simple tests, the amount of data is relatively little. But nowadays, when you go to a hospital, go to a clinic, a doctor will ask you a lot more questions, and there will be quite a lot of different digital data that will be collected. These includes X-ray, chest X-ray images, include MRI, CT, so radiological images. If you do tests, blood tests, urine tests, and other tests, the pathologists will actually undergo a large amount of tests that are also digitalized as well. So it's the availability of these digital data that enabled medicine to be a truly big data field. And I think it's that concept that we need to understand, why bioinformatics is so important. In bioinformatics, we deal with, I would usually say, three aspects. We have big data. We have a huge amount of data, including genome sequencing data, imaging data, data from wearable devices, information from your clinical note or radiology reports that we can extract. So these are all very important data. We also have computational and statistical methods that we need to use to realize the potential of these big data. In particular, we have place a lot of focus on AI, artificial intelligence. So these are a set of methods that allows machines to have almost human-like intelligent in processing specific tasks. So that's AI. And we also use, in particular, a lot of digital smart devices. Many of you have an iPhone or a smartphone or maybe a smartwatch with you. And these devices actually collect a lot of data. And we can make use of these data to tell you something about your health in a variety of medical applications. So our undergraduate program is the only undergraduate level bioinformatics program in Hong Kong. So if you're an aspiring high school graduate wanting to do bioinformatics and believe this is your career, this is the only program you can do in Hong Kong that specifically do bioinformatics. It's a 4-year UGC-funded program. The JUPAS code is JS6470. The expected intake size is 15. This is the expected size for the coming year. It is hosted by the Faculty of Medicine, so here, and we collaborate with colleagues in the Faculty of Engineering and Faculty of Science. But the most of the courses are offered here at the Faculty of Medicine. We really aim to train bioinformatics leaders. We want to have well-trained bioinformatics leaders that can lead Hong Kong in particular in this world of bioinformatics. So what can we do with bioinformatics training? A bioinformatician would have very good training in quantitative data analysis skills. Would have ability to develop AI program to do big data analysis and apply it to a variety of medical and healthcare problems. And here are a few examples. Genomics and precision medicine. That means being able to look at and analyze your human genome data, identify mutations, and make use of this information to decide whether a specific drug, specific medicine, or specific treatment is suitable for you. This is the field of precision medicine. Next, we look at digital and mobile health technology. We can use your mobile phone, then we develop mobile app, or to make use of sensors on your phone, the camera, the microphone and other to support medical treatment or support healthcare in general. One example is telemedicine. That's something that hospital authority is doing, that other private clinic and private hospitals are already doing. So that's something that is, and we are really seeing an expansion of the offer of remote and telemedicine services in just the last year. And this trend is going to grow. We are seeing the use of artificial intelligence analysis of medical images, chest X-ray, for example, or other kind of medical imaging like MRI, PET. These are images that we can use AI to automatically do some kind of analysis. The whole point is to speed up the process, to reduce backlog, and to increase efficiency and accuracy of diagnosis. We do big data analysis of electronic medical record data. And this is really important. In fact, we're seeing a lot of this important application right now during the COVID-19 pandemic. We're talking about people are naturally interested about effectiveness of antiviral for COVID-19, effectiveness of vaccines, or side effect of vaccines, or side effect of antiviral treatments. All this in Hong Kong because Hong Kong has such a fantastic healthcare electronic health record system, we can actually take those data and we do analysis. In fact, the University of Hong Kong, our faculty, is really leading the effort in using electronic medical record to analyze and study the effect and side effect of those vaccine and drugs so that we, as Hong Kong citizens, can feel safe about the use of this vaccine and antivirals, right? So this is really important. And also global health informatics and epidemiology. And again, this is something in Hong Kong in the Faculty of Medicine, we are really, really strong at predicting the trajectory of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is something we are really, really strong at doing. So this is just one example. In fact, this is an example from a few years ago where the University of Hong Kong, in particular in the Department of Radiology, we have colleagues who collaborate with hospital authority to analyze X-ray data and use that to do automated prediction. This was a clip from a news article from a few years ago. In fact, a few weeks ago, they actually have a product, right? They actually have developed the AI system that are now being deployed and tested in hospitals in Hong Kong, actually using AI system to automatically analyze X-ray images so that, again, it can speed up the process and also reduce potential misdiagnosis or misdiagnosis of this particular condition. So that's something that's actually happening. This is another piece of research work that I collaborated with a colleague from radiology. And that happened in the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic back in 2020. At that time, when PCR test was not as widely available, and there's certainly no rapid antigen test, we were asking ourselves, well, can we use chest X-ray and some blood test data to build an AI model to do diagnosis? And again, when we don't have other way to do diagnosis, we were trying that. So again, very quickly, we collaborated with hospital authority, analyzed their chest X-ray data from patients with COVID-19 or other non-COVID-19 but respiratory-related diseases, and we do a comparison, and we were able to identify and develop an AI-based system to do classification. So again, we have an AI diagnosis system. But of course, you don't see this a lot because PCR did become quite widely available, and in fact now we have rapid antigen tests, so we may not need this now. But again, the principle is that we can indeed use and develop AI-based technology for use in a readily available manner in Hong Kong. So, and again, bioinformatics and digital health can be anywhere. It is not only applied in a hospital setting, it can be in your pocket. This is an example from overseas where some researchers have developed a mobile app that can detect cancerous mole, basically. They can look at mole, you can take a picture of your mole on your skin, and the mobile app will tell you whether this is likely a malignant, therefore a cancerous mole, or likely a benign mole, so therefore nothing to worry about. So being able to do that on a phone and not having to go to a doctor necessarily, I think that itself is something that make healthcare much more accessible. That make healthcare much more accessible. And again, this is the kind of technology, what we call digital health, is what we want to introduce in the bioinformatics curriculum at Hong Kong U, that again, people will feel that they have direct impact of this type of technology. Okay, and again, this is COVID-19. Again, something that our faculty is very, very strong in using DNA sequencing data of the viruses, and also other kind of epidemiological data like mobility data, caseload, hospital admission, ICU usage, and other type of data to really model and identify the possible trend of COVID-19. Right? So on the news, you might see, University of Hong Kong predicting, the dominance of different variants of Omicron variants. They are all based on solid science. And bioinformatics, the ability to analyze big data, plays a central role in doing this. So next, I'll pass on to my colleague, Dr. Jason Wong, who is another co-director of this program, and he'll tell you about the wonderful program we have put together.
Yeah, thank you, Joshua. Yes, so so my name is Dr. Jason Wong, and as Joshua said, I'm the co-director of a Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics program. So here, you see here, I know the word's a bit small, but you've sort of got an introduction from the video already. This is our curriculum. I guess a lot of you would be interested. So if you do the Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics, what are you studying, right? So really, in the first year, what's special about this program is that you would study, of course, biochemistry, biomedical sciences, statistics, maths, and computer science. And in the first year, through the years, we have these foundation courses that really bring together these different, very diverse skills in what we know is bioinformatics. And so that's a really key component of our program. And the other thing to be aware of is that after your first year, depending on your interests, if you're a bit more mathematics inclined or computer science inclined, you can choose to major in those as well as getting the bioinformatics major. So really, you have the option and flexibility to choose what you want to do. And of course, in the later years, you could take the exchange programs, internships that you can do to sort of enrich your experience. And another feature of our program, as Dr. Ho mentioned, it's a small cohort. We have 15 students. So what we're able to do is really sort of tailor our learning to our students. So basically, these photos are just from a few weeks ago during reading week. We're able to take a whole cohort of students, 15 of them, to Science Park to visit the Hong Kong Genome Institute, to talk to the scientists there and learn really what bioinformatics is about. And later on, there will be opportunities for internships both locally, in our school doing research, or in the Science Park, or through overseas internships. And certainly, bioinformatics, there are growing career opportunities. So in Hong Kong here, at the top, you see the launching of the Hong Kong Genome Project. So in the next 5 years or so, Hong Kong will aim to sequence around 100,000 genomes. And lots of bioinformaticians, they tell us, they're looking to hire about 33 bioinformaticians, just to handle and analyze this data. And there's a big demand for and growing need for this. And that's just one company, right? And of course, Science Park, there are lots of emerging, and there you also see the spin-off from Hong Kong U companies that do data analysis and bioinformatics. And of course, you can choose research if that's what you're interested in, both in our faculty as well as overseas. Okay, so just some admission information. So a lot of this you have in the brochure that you have. But our JUPAS code is 6470. And like all Bachelor of Medicine programs, the score is based on the best 6, and last year was our first year of intake, and our lower quartile was 37. And so interview, as with all programs here, is required. And you can get more information from the website. So I'll just highlight this. I think it's you would hear this in other places too, but the scoring is a little bit different in that you sort of get bonus points for the 5-star and star subjects, and now M1 and M2 is also counted as an elective. So for non-JUPAS students here, so really, of course, I guess in Hong Kong it's mainly IB, but the key is, we need high level either chemistry or biology or mathematics, and of course, English is required. So here are just some example programs, qualifications, and so last year for IB was 36. And so for non-JUPAS admissions, it's we look at your referee report. There's interview as well, but of course your academic achievement is very important. And so this I guess is important. You will soon be applying, and so for the JUPAS students, the interviews are a bit later. That will be next year. So there's one before the release of results in late June, mid to late June, and then one after in late July. But for non-JUPAS, it's actually very soon. So the main round, it's actually in December. So certainly start thinking about applying now if you're interested in our programs. And and after the main round as well, we'll have another round. But sort of you want to interview as soon as possible. Basically, that you have sort of higher opportunity of getting in if you do the main round interview. And so one other thing to note is we'll only interview you once. So there's it's not like you'll attend multiple interviews. And so just finally, here's some links, to our program. Please follow our social media from our school, where you'll get updates about what we do with our students, and sort of different opportunities there are, and sort of events as well. Give you a second to scan. And so that's all. So thank you so much, and I'll pass the mic to Professor Julian Tanner.
Good afternoon. It's really fantastic to see so many people interested in our bioinformatics and our biomedical sciences programs. My name is Professor Julian Tanner. I'm the director of the Biomedical Sciences program here at HKUMed, and I'm here to just provide a little bit of information, and after this I'll be happy to chat with anyone about anything I've discussed in the presentation today. So firstly, what is biomedical sciences? So biomedical sciences is the study of the relationships between health and disease and those scientific disciplines underneath all of that, and thinking about how we can use scientific approaches to improve health, improve our understanding of disease. And it's an enormously fast-changing and exciting area, and it's growing exceedingly rapidly. There's so much innovation around healthcare technologies, in the pharmaceuticals industry, in diagnostics, in our understanding of cutting-edge scientific disciplines. You know, so many of the big questions in science, if you think about areas like neuroscience, you know, there's so much we still don't understand, and biomedical sciences is here to tackle those big challenges. You know, so it's really at the cutting edge of science, and then thinking about how it relates in medicine and the overall healthcare industry. And then you might think, okay, well, biomedical sciences is, you know, clearly important, but why HKU? Joshua presented earlier that the HKUMed has reached the rank 13th globally for clinical and health. There's really excellent biomedical research at HKU. You know, absolutely world-leading research here, not only in COVID, but across all sorts of disciplines and areas. So there's many strong scientists working in biomedical sciences here in this faculty. We have world-class clinical departments across medicine, surgery, and all of the other clinical departments. And we're tightly linked in with that from biomedical sciences with those clinical departments in terms of collaborative research and so on. And we're also committed and dedicated to teaching and providing opportunities for students, for yourselves to develop professionally. And it's very internationally recognized. Many of our students are collaborating with the very best and going on exchange at the very best universities across the world. And the research is also linked in that way with the world's leading institutions. Now, let me give a few examples of biomedical sciences and how it's making an impact. So Professor Danny Chan is actually the director of our school, director of the School of Biomedical Sciences. And he does research in the mechanisms by which skeletal patterning occurs. And of course, that's really important in medicine for degenerative conditions. You know, I'm sure all of us here have relatives who have, you know, perhaps joint pain or knee pain or these sort of issues. This is actually a very cutting-edge area of research of developing approaches to help those sorts of problems. So this incorporates cell biology and molecular biology, understanding of the extracellular matrix, and so on. There's all sorts of important scientific questions. Firstly, we need to understand, and then we can approach to think about how we can do things about that therapeutically. Another example, cancer. Of course, cancer, a huge challenge. One of our colleagues in the school, Dr. Stephanie Ma, works on cancer stem cells. You might have heard of stem cells as types of cells which can grow and differentiate into all different types of cells. Understanding those mechanisms is really important for understanding the progression of cancer. And then understanding that, we can then lead to new types of therapy, new types of biological therapies, where we're actually disrupting particular pathways as new therapeutic approaches. So you can see from this sort of research how it links from the science and that understanding, and then it links into develop of new approaches, an application, and then having an impact on patient care. So Joshua presented earlier that it's been an amazing result for the rankings of HKUMed, 13th globally. So we're really amongst the very top universities in the world in terms of both our research and our teaching. So the Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences. So we've been running this program for 10 years now. Our first intake was 2012. It's a 4-year program, so the first graduates graduated in 2016. And you can see the general numbers that we've been generally increasing slowly over the last few years. So from 2019 through to now, that we had 60 graduates, 60 students that's entering actually in 2019. And we had 65 last year. We'll have a similar number for the coming year also, approximately 65 students. and the composition there of JUPAS and non-JUPAS students. It's quite an international program. It's the most international program for the student cohort of the faculty. So there's a balance, local, international students, many students who are applying also from outside Hong Kong to the program. So it's a really good experience for the students to be thinking globally in terms of their education and thinking globally in terms of your future careers. The profile of graduates and what students typically go on to, where it says research on this particular pie chart, that means going on to postgraduate study. So most professional scientists, professional biomedical scientists would have PhD degrees after their bachelor's, or perhaps after a bachelor's and then a master's. So approximately half of our students will be doing that and going on to PhD with a view to be working as professional biomedical scientists, whether that be in universities, in pharmaceutical companies, in medical technology companies, working globally in these areas. So that's around half of our students. Around 13% of our students will be going on to professional degrees, including the HKUMed BBS, veterinary medicine, and diagnostic radiography. I'll come on to that in a second. And around 35% will go into direct employment in areas like pharmaceuticals industry, medical technology industry. At the Science Park, there are all sorts of startup companies relating to medtech in all sorts of exciting areas. Joshua alluded to this earlier. All of this area is rapidly expanding, and there's a lot of opportunities in these areas. In Hong Kong, in the Greater Bay Area, across all of China, across all of Asia, and globally. It's an exciting area in terms of particular employment. For students who went on to postgraduate study for PhD, these are some of the universities. You see many of the world's leading universities that students are going on to for PhD after their bachelor's degree here. So Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences is a 4-year program, 65 intake, and our objectives, firstly, to offer strategic training in the fundamentals of state-of-the-art sciences, and then nurturing graduates to the core knowledge base, the key disciplines of biomedical sciences. So the structure of the curriculum over the 4 years. To begin with, we have biomedical core courses. There's a lot of the common core across the whole of HKU, which is very valuable for linking disciplines across the whole university. In the second year, you'll be focusing a little bit more quite a lot more of your time really on several biomedical sciences courses across different disciplines of biomedical sciences. In the third year, around half of our students will be going on exchange in some way. So either the articulation programs, and then many students also go on overseas exchange, generally with HKU, at universities all over the world. And then in the fourth year, the final year, you're really getting close to research and spending quite a lot of time in final year projects where you'll be working alongside many of the PhD students in the labs, and that will help you think about whether you might be considering to be really going down a scientific biomedical science research career at that point, and that can help with that. Another big change is that we've really been pushing this innovation and entrepreneurship side of medtech, seeing the opportunities there. And we have a lot of links with the Science Park here in Hong Kong to provide opportunities for students to think about, okay, how biomedical sciences and business and new ideas can all fit together to thinking about the new technologies which will be coming during your careers in the decades ahead. During the summers, we have internships locally, internationally. So locally might be in many of our research labs. If you're interested in COVID, maybe you could join one of these teams in the summer. If you're interested in orthopedics, if you're interested in surgery, or in all sorts of areas of biomedical sciences, there's opportunities to get that experience, to see what it's really like working in research. We also have exchanges overseas, many universities in the United Kingdom, in Australia, Canada, USA, and also industrial internships. Many of these are at the Science Park. The articulations I'll come on to in a second, and then we have 3 possible minors. So these are the minors which we offer for biomedical sciences, but also, of course, you have a lot of choice to do minors across the whole University of Hong Kong. So this is one of the great things about biomedical sciences is the flexibility. If you were interested in learning, say, Japanese, you could choose to do a minor in Japanese and a major in biomedical sciences, and so on. So you can really take advantage of the flexibility of general HKU degrees for biomedical sciences. So this is a little bit more details of those summer internships, around 8 weeks, and almost all of our students every summer will be doing these as part of the summer. And this is something which the students find very rewarding and valuable, to be thinking about how to apply the knowledge they're learning in their degree, and also thinking about how that might apply to their future careers after they graduate. In the final year, we have the capstone projects, and the 2 choices are working on a research project, so a final year research project, and really this could be in all sorts of areas, of all the broad areas of research across the faculty, or in an innovation team project where students come together with an innovative idea relating to medical technology, and then be linking with a lot of our colleagues also teaching in business and marketing and so on, to be thinking about how that research could actually link to real products. And so this is an important element of how we're integrating this into the curriculum. So we have these articulation programs, either at the University of Hong Kong, University of Sydney, or the University of Edinburgh, where students can link from their biomedical sciences into a postgraduate degree in various ways through a type of exchange program during year 3 of your studies. And we have 3 articulation programs. So for students who are interested in veterinary medicine, and of course veterinary medicine was another subject which builds on biomedical sciences fundamentally underneath. The University of Edinburgh is one of the world's leading veterinary medicine schools, and actually it's more difficult to get into veterinary medicine than it is to get into medicine in the UK, generally. So this is a huge opportunity for students, that students could spend 1 year, so during year 3 of your biomedical sciences, you effectively do the first year of the professional master's degree for veterinary medicine. If you then return to HKU in year 4. If you would like to continue to actually get a veterinary medicine qualification, then you can return to complete that veterinary medicine degree in 3 years after you finish your BBMS, and that would be shorter than the typical 4-year professional master's degree, which is the professional qualification for veterinary medicine. And that's at the University of Edinburgh. So we have another option for University of Sydney for diagnostic radiography, where students would be spending year 3 in the University of Sydney in Australia, return, and then afterwards 1.5 years to complete the professional qualification for diagnostic radiography. And then finally for MBBS, during year 3, you see that approximately 10 of the students, so it was 11, you see the last 2 years, 11 and then 8, do the CPRS block. So this is the second semester block of MBBS during the second semester of year 3, and then complete BBMS. And then all of their BBMS effectively would count for year 1 and year 3. And then if they're interested to continue to clinical medicine, then one can apply for that entry to MBBS after the BBMS degree, and then effectively complete the whole biomedical sciences and MBBS across 8 years. So a little bit more detail here. You might remember Dolly the sheep, which is a big media story. It's quite a long time ago now. So it's just highlighting that University of Edinburgh is really at the cutting edge of veterinary medicine. This is a great opportunity, and the students who have gone and done that articulation program have had a wonderful experience doing this. And then for the University of Sydney, so typically that master's is 2 years, but through this articulation program, it effectively becomes 1.5 years to become a diagnostic radiographer. And that is just highlighting that detail regarding the MBBS articulation. And so both year 1 and year 3, so the enrichment year, and year 1, because many of your courses within biomedical sciences are more than equivalent of year 1 of MBBS, then you would effectively complete the MBBS across 8 years. On the minors, so genetics and genomics, so this is exploring the application of genes and genetics for clinical practice, population health, biotechnology and clinical research, and then kinesiology. Kinesiology is quite close to physiotherapy, so this is also quite a good option for students who might be thinking about postgraduate physiotherapy professional qualification. Experiential learning is very important for us, that students are able to go and experience particular learning activities. We have had several in mainland China, at least before COVID. Now we're trying to expand these a little bit more internationally as well, and hopefully we can resume these as well, that students have chances to visit and see how biomedical science is also changing very fast across China. And then even more of our students than the articulation students. So you saw from the numbers that approximately, in total, about 15 of our students out of the 60 would do articulation. About another 15 or 20 actually do overseas exchange via the undergraduate student exchange for the whole university. And then you have an amazing choice of effectively almost all of the world's top universities, and one can exchange either for 1 semester or for a whole year to be studying at these universities. And here's a list of some of the examples of where our biomedical sciences have studied during year 3. You see a lot of excellent universities on that list. As you enter HKU, supporting students through that transition is really important. We put a lot of emphasis on academic advice. Every single student is assigned an academic advisor who is able to help to speak to them and help support them thinking about not only their course choices, but also be thinking about what to do for exchange and what to do for their future career and how to be applying for postgraduate study or to other avenues after they graduate. So this is really important to us, that this is an important factor. Okay, so let me come a little bit onto admissions for BBMS. Jason presented this a little bit earlier in terms of bioinformatics. So for biomedical sciences, similar in terms of the core requirements. And then we look at the best 6. So tiebreakers for HKDSC candidates in terms of interview performance and those other factors which you can see below, which will apply to some students here. The scoring system. So now we have this bonus points for the 5-star, 5 double-star for HKDSE. M1 and M2, they're recognized as full electives. So we'll be using this scoring system in the blue box. The results for JUPAS admissions in the last year, you can see here that the best 6 was at 40. So above 40 for the admissions for HKDSE JUPAS. Non-JUPAS, we have many students from different programs, from IB, from GCA level, from SAT, and other international exam systems. Of course, English is important, and then another different second language is important. For BBMS, unlike for MBBS, then this is not a program where Chinese or where Cantonese is required. Non-JUPAS admissions, the lower boundary is 36 on IB or 3As on A-level. And for the other subjects, you can see this in the material which is online. Jason mentioned this earlier, I won't repeat again. Some of the other criteria which are important for non-JUPAS are here on this slide, and similar scheduling on terms of the interviews, that non-JUPAS, some would be in December this year, then in April next year. For JUPAS would be next summer. And then that's the final slide, and so please scan that QR code to get more information. A lot of that information is there on the website. So thank you very much. Myself and Dr. Joshua Ho and Dr. Jason Wong will be very happy to take questions relating to either the bioinformatics or the biomedical sciences degree. So I know it's a big hall, but I'll just encourage you to try to be confident to ask within this hall, and we'll pass the microphone to you. So please raise your hand if there's any questions from anyone in the hall. Some questions up. Yeah. Someone have a mic over this side.
Can I speak now? May I ask about, hello?
Where is that one coming from?
May I ask about in the 2024 is no LNS and is new subject for CS. It's only pass or fail. It's not level 5 or level 5 star or 5 star. And how is the score counted for the biomedical science?
I'm not entirely sure about that, so please come and ask afterwards, and then we can follow up with the administrative staff, also about that.
Hi, my name is Anson. May I ask if there are any internship opportunities for secondary school students at this moment?
You mean generally for the medical faculty?
Yes.
We don't have a particular program which is arranged at the faculty level, but if you contact academic staff individually, then they might have space in their laboratories in the summer to do so.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Bernice. I'm for the non-JUPAS stream, and I'd like to ask, if I put biomedical sciences for my second choice, would I still get an interview in December?
I think that will vary on a case-to-case basis.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chuck Hin. Just a question about the applicants for non-JUPAS. What was the average IB score for people who successfully entered last year?
I think around 39 or 40, something like that.
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy. So I have a question. So what job can we get by using this degree? So my biomedical degree. Like which role are we responsible for in a hospital or in a company?
So we'd be looking for students who are really thinking globally about careers. Some of the biggest employers globally are things in pharmaceuticals companies, medical technology companies. This is one route. Another route, approximately half of our students will be going on to PhD and then working as biomedical research scientists. So again, either within the private sector or in universities or in research institutes. But this is a very, we look very internationally at careers. So it's not a professional degree like doing medicine or doing pharmacy or doing Chinese medicine or doing nursing. Those, of course, go directly and feed straight into jobs directly out. Yeah? But biomedical sciences is more of a general degree where there's incredible opportunities which are growing all the time, but it's not that you're sort of very defined into a particular career path like it is for the professional degrees.
So hi, my name is Mercy. So I want to ask, does biomedical science offer early exposure to research opportunities like year 1 or year 2?
Yes, so in the summer we have the internships, and those are research internships. Yeah.
Hi, I would like to ask about the entrance score for JUPAS in 2022, the minimum score.
I'll just make sure I get it right. The JUPAS entrance, 39. It was 39 was the minimum score for JUPAS.
Hello, I want to ask about clinical scientists and how does it relate to these two courses? Thank you.
So many of our students will be doing their research projects actually in the clinical departments and working quite closely with the clinical professors in Department of Medicine or Department of Surgery. And so if students are, for example, interested in clinical trials research, they can take that route, and perhaps then they would go on to PhD in sort of clinical trials research, and then they'd be qualifying themselves as types of scientists who do research in clinical medicine.
Hi, I have two questions. The first question is, do you know the percentage of non-JUPAS students, like the admissions for the non-JUPAS?
So it was about, for biomedical sciences, there's about 25 JUPAS and about 35 non-JUPAS.
Okay. And for the articulation year, do we pay for the local fees or do we pay an international fee?
It's international fees, but it's means tested. So if there's difficulties in paying the fees, then there could be scholarships available.
I want to ask about the articulation pathways. Like in the presentation just now, you mentioned that year 3 students would can proceed to 3 years in the University of Edinburgh. So I want to ask if it's like studying 3 years in Hong Kong U and then 3 years at in England and then back to Hong Kong and study 1 more year to complete the whole course.
So firstly, you complete the biomedical sciences degree at HKU. And if you're interested in the articulation, year 3 is effectively studying veterinary medicine at the University of Edinburgh. So it's like doing an exchange program. But year 3, you're effectively studying the first year of that master's degree. Okay. Then you complete biomedical sciences. Okay. Then at that point, you can say, okay, I actually want to be a vet. Yeah, and then you decide that after you've completed year 4 and you graduated, And then if you apply back to the University of Edinburgh, and if they accept you, but if you've gone through this program, then you'll have a pretty good chance to be accepted. But then if you're accepted, then you can do a reduced time professional degree in veterinary medicine. So normally, for most students, it'd be 4 years. But because you've done 1 year, now you only do 3 years, and then you graduate, and then that's all run from the University of Edinburgh. You know, you're in that master's degree at the University of Edinburgh.
So in year 3, it's like studying year 1 in veterinary medicine in England.
Yeah, year 1 postgraduate, year 1 master's degree, not year 1 bachelor's. Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to ask about bioinformatics. If we study it in university, what pathway can we do in the future? Is it more focusing on like programming or coding? And like, is it okay if we haven't studied IT in secondary school?
We don't need people to have prior programming skills in high school before entering. You can learn programming in the university. In fact, I've never done programming before I entered university, so that's certainly fine as long as you have you want to do this. This is fine. I think opportunity is ample. Bioinformatics is a highly skilled-based program. You learn a lot of skills, analytical skills, quantitative analytical skills, and also programming skills. And these are the type of skills that will set you up for diverse career pathway. For example, I actually talk to those people in hospital, right? They're actually recruiting actively people who will look after their information management, but not only the basic IT system, but higher level, like system where they want to develop AI-based system to look at their imaging scans, looking at using some AI system to prioritize and organize their healthcare resources to care for different patients. Where people who have been recruiting in Hong Kong Science Park with those companies where they want people to develop mobile apps for digital health applications. And there are people in the Hong Kong Genome Institute who are desperate to look for people who analyze human genome sequencing data, and also in academia, in universities, not only here, but all across Hong Kong, they're looking for people like that. And also say overseas as well. We have colleagues from America, from Europe, the UK, and in Australia, who are also desperately looking for people who have those skills. So I would say bioinformatics is a good degree if you want to acquire these sort of skills and have a global mindset about your career choice.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. May I know the average A-level score of student intake for both bioinformatics and biomedical science?
I need Christina for help. A-level score. A-level score for admission into BBMS and
the average.
Average. A-level.
Yeah, I think probably 1A star or 2A stars and 1A, something like that.
For both of the course?
Sorry? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can go.
For A-levels, so you mentioned that the minimum is 3 A's. Would taking more than 3 subjects have any advantages to me, or would you only look at the highest 3 A-levels?
Yes, I mean, it's advantageous, but you still need to get 3 A's. Okay. You couldn't get an A and 3 B's instead. Yeah.
Over there.
May I ask for the biomedical science if I would like to become a medical doctor in the future? Is it because in the PowerPoint they show that for the year 3 semester 2 it would go to the MBBS of year 1 semester 2, and after it will goes to the the biomedical science for year 4, and then I will be graduated. Is it counted as the first degree? And if I continue to study for the MBBS, is it counted as the second degree? And also, I would like to ask, is there any minimum requirement for biomedical science if I want to study MBBS?
So it's 2 separate degree programs. So firstly, biomedical sciences, and you need to complete that in those 4 years. And then in year 2, if you're interested in this, you can apply to do this as one of your options during year 3. Okay. You have to do very well academically within BBMS and getting a high GPA in the courses to be eligible for that. After you have completed BBMS, then you can apply for postgraduate entry for MBBS. And then if you're accepted at that point, then it's 4 years. Okay. So you have to apply at that time point. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what I would say is that the biomedical sciences degree is an excellent first degree for students who wish to study medicine. You know, it's probably the best in Hong Kong. Not necessarily medicine here at HKU, but it could be anywhere globally. And I think, as many are aware, most medicine internationally is postgraduate entry. Hong Kong's a little bit different to most places internationally, where so many students enter direct from school. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask if there are any weighting score for the HKDSE. For example, is there any weighting on chemistry or English of mathematics or M2? And also, I would like to ask which kind of students the personality are capable at mathematics or English or science will be better for this program. Thank you.
We don't weight different subjects differently. Yeah. So it's just really on the overall score of these. Of course, you know, to do biomedical sciences or bioinformatics, it would be important to be interested in science and enjoying those sorts of subjects.
Hi, I want to ask for a non-JUPAS. So, as the requirement is only either chemistry or biology, so will it be disadvantage if the student only take chemistry or biology? And also, if the student only take one of them, are there any catch-up or like supporting a session for like, because they missed out like half of the stuff in secondary school? Are there any help for that?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. We do have some separate catch-up classes. So if you hadn't done chemistry, then you do a different chemistry course in year 1 to the other students. So it's a little bit different. And if you haven't done biology, then we organize a few classes to help catch up with that.
Hi. Is there any exchange opportunities throughout the 4 years bioinformatics course?
Certainly. I think this is why we specifically have a relatively small cohort, so we can really look after and have very personalized advice to individual students to suit their need, to go overseas for exchange or do internship locally and also overseas. That's something we would definitely like all our students to do.
Also, will it be an advantage if I'm taking computer science right now in IB?
Oh yeah, sure. Because again, if I think you're non-JUPAS or JUPAS?
Non-JUPAS.
Because non-JUPAS, we also look at the whole application package,
okay,
right, with your other stuff, and that's actually where we notice those things. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's one question over there.
Oh, hi. I want to ask about the interviews for biomedical science. First of all, what is the interview format? And second, what are the related topics or what kind of topics that will cover on the interview? And also the last question is that is there any kind of qualities that you expect the interviews to have on the interview performance? Thank you.
The interviews are group interviews, so it will be 2 teachers with 7 or 8 students, something like that. And then we'll be gauging how interested you are in biomedical sciences or in bioinformatics. And then also your capability to communicate around those subjects with a particular scenario, something like this.
Hi, I would just like to ask if this discipline is more biology heavy or English heavy. Which would you say is the most important part? And also, secondly, if I also take, I'm a JUPAS, I'm a JUPAS student, so I do HKDSE. But if on top of it, I also do some AP exams, would that help? Would that be considered or? Yeah.
So certainly it's a scientific degree program, yeah. So not English heavy.
So would it be more biology heavy or chemistry heavy? Would you?
Oh, so biology or chemistry. At universities, we sort of split subjects are much more than biology and chemistry at school. So they're both important, but your courses in the first semester, first year, will cover all the biology or chemistry you need. Yeah. And sorry, your second question was relating to if you took SATs?
No, I took APs on top of my
APs.
HKDS.
Yes, I mean, like Joshua said, we'd look at the whole application package. So, yeah, it will make a difference, but perhaps not a huge difference. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Oscar. Excuse me, may I ask if there is a minimum requirement for IELTS if I'm applying for biomedical sciences?
Sorry, I missed that. A minimum requirement for?
IELTS.
IELTS. Oh, is that the
English exam for non-JUPAS?
I think there is, but is there an IELTS score? I'm not sure. The English. Sorry, follow up with us after this big meeting, and then you'll be able to respond. Yeah. Of course, English is important. All the teaching is in English, and it's quite technical, difficult English, so English is important.
Hi, Professor, for the non-JUPAS applications, will it be a disadvantage of putting other subjects together during the application? For example, if I put medicine, for my boys, we'll put the medicine, and dentistry will be, the shortlisting will be on a lower priority.
There needs to be clear evidence that students would actually be interested in doing biomedical sciences. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage. Many applicants I know will put in their 3 choices the 2 medical degrees and then biomedical sciences.
So it's preferable to be put it either biomedicine as a top priority or second priority would be better.
Better to be in the top priority, but in that first set of 3. Yeah.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask a question. I wonder if the curriculum or the credits of biomedical science can fulfill the requirement of getting a license of medical laboratory technician. Thank you.
No, they don't. So, yeah. So our curriculum is not really focused on that side of medical laboratory technician. So it's different to Polytechnic University's one. So that one is focused on that professional qualification. Our focus is more preparing students towards biomedical research careers, going on to PhD, and then, thinking globally in terms of their careers as research scientists. So our course is quite different to Polytechnic University's one, which is more focused on that MLT qualification.
Good afternoon, sir. Regarding the bioinformatics course, may I ask about what are the areas of research during the program? Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Good question. So I think in bioinformatics it's very broad. So we have colleagues who look at cancer genomics, for example, looking at genomics in cancer. So there are colleagues who look at digital devices, like, I do actually develop mobile apps to track various vital signs. There are colleagues who work on hospital electronic health record data. So there are other colleagues who look at a variety of molecular data and looking at applying to cancer, to cardiovascular disease, to other neurodegenerative diseases. And these are things that we do. It's actually very, very diverse.
May I ask about, so what are the differences between biomedical science and bioinformatics in terms of research?
So actually, it's the key skills. If you are interested in developing laboratory experimental skills, like running certain equipment in a lab, doing biochemical experiments, doing cell culture experiments, doing animal experiment, doing animal dissections, if that's what you want, biomedical science is the degree for you. If you're interested in analytical data analysis, doing analyzing big data on a computer, right? Not in a wet laboratory, but in front of a computer and developing computer programs, analyzing data, then bioinformatics is for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to add one thing, Joshua was of course completely right, but it's not exclusive. So no matter which program you do, you'll get some skills in both, right? So yeah, it's just what your interest is in.
Could you please elaborate a bit more on the PhD bit? Because you mentioned 3 other kinds of programs you could continue with. But if you were to, let's say, you're done with the biomedical science program, and now if you were to do PhD, is there a reduction in the duration you would need to study for? For, let's say, there was a reduction in multiple types of programs. Let's say MBBS was 4 years, and one of them was from 2 to 1.5. So is there any reduction in PhD?
Not for PhD, no. So students who have done very well and get first-class degrees might be able to apply directly to PhD. Many students would do a master's degree and then a PhD. But no, that's separate. So, and you'd be applying to PhDs, not necessarily here. It could be any university globally. Yeah, so it's separate.
Hi, may I ask for like IB student if he's interested to take bioinformatics? Is computer study required in the IB exam subject?
No, it is not a required subject for admission purposes. But again, for non-JUPAS, we look at the whole package. So if you have done it, and for example, you have done some kind of competition and won some award, we definitely take those into consideration because it shows your interest and that you're very motivated to do this. But it is not a hard requirement. It is not that you need to have done it. Only mathematics and the language requirement and one of biology and chemistry, that's the hard requirement. Everything else is the additional consideration for us.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm wondering that if I do not reach the requirement in the Hong Kong DSE to enter the biomedical science program, is there any method for me to get into the program later?
What I would say is that if you're really keen on these areas, another sort of route towards something similar is also in terms of BSc Science and then majoring in biochemistry. So actually our School of Biomedical Sciences also teaches that program. So if your DSc is looking like it might not reach the threshold for biomedical sciences, maybe you could think about BSc Science and then majoring in biochemistry. The actual outcome in terms of careers later on can be, a similar route. It's just not quite as broad as biomedical sciences, but if you're interested in biochemistry. If you do very well, if you do a different degree and do very well in that, then perhaps there's you could think about postgraduate entry, but this seldom happens.
Thank you. The second question I want to ask, biomedical science require Best 5 or Best 6 in the HKDSc?
Best 6.
Thank you.
Hi, may I know how many professors will be teaching the biomedical sciences, and will there be any mentorship programs for new students? Thank you.
So just within the School of Biomedical Sciences, we have about 60 academic staff, but there's also a lot of teaching from many professors across the whole faculty, and indeed across the whole university. So many. There's a lot of teachers.
And will there be any mentorship programs for new students?
Sorry, any
mentorship program?
Mentorship, yes. So when you enter, then you're assigned an academic advisor who helps to mentor you. And also we're assigning student advisors from the senior years who can also help support and help advise, according to their experience as well.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My son is A-level student, but he has not any secondary language fulfills your requirement for the Chinese. But is it impossible to apply it?
So for biomedical sciences, you don't need Chinese.
But the second language requirements, they say...
there has no other second language? You mean there's no languages he's studying? It can be anything. It could be French or Spanish or something else. Nothing.
No.
So maybe follow up with us. We might be able to make an exception in terms of languages.
Okay, thank you.
There's another one all the way back there.
Hi. Sorry, I want to confirm that is M1 also count as one elective in the HKDSc?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just have something to add on. As I think technology and IT have been, a very big trend nowadays, because I feel like the biology and technology, like AIs, are going to combine very soon. So do you think bioinformatics is going to be a very big subject or a trend for the future, as it's going to be very important?
Absolutely, no doubt.
So biology
Definitely.
and technology is...
Yes, absolutely. So obviously I'm here to tell you about the Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics, a 4-year standalone program. But to be absolutely fair, we actually also teach a little bit of bioinformatics in the biomedical science program, so we also do that, and also in the medical program, in the MBBS program. So in year 1 and 2, students have to do my lecture on digital health technology in healthcare. So it's absolutely going to be expanding, I say, not only in Hong Kong, but also globally as well.
Is there any other subject that's kind of also similar to bioinformatics, or is very unique?
So I think if you specifically want to use data analytics and apply to a medical and healthcare setting, this degree program in Hong Kong is the one, definitely. But there are also other disciplines. So for students who are more interested in engineering and doing more, developing hardware, machines, then biomedical engineering over at the Faculty of Engineering offer those kind of things. And of course, if you, for even more general, less biomedical, then of course there are other computer science subjects or related discipline that could be of relevant. But again, if you want to do specifically in biomedical science and combine with quantitative data analytical skills, this is the program here.
Okay, thank you.
Over there.
Excuse me, may I ask again if I might have missed it, about the average admission score for non-JUPAS in biomedical science in the past year? Is it 39 to 40 points, like that?
Something in that range, yeah, in terms of the average score, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe a bit higher, yeah. Okay, so thank you very much for all of the questions. And if anyone else would like to ask anything else afterwards, myself, Jason and Joshua will be just outside. Okay, thank you.